If you haven't heard of TOSOT yet, you probably should get to know this brand because they're here to stay as a player in the air conditioner marketplace. TOSOT is a brand of Gree electric appliances and is ranked in the global Fortune 500 companies in the whole world. They're best known for air conditioners under the TOSOT and Gree brands, including mini splits, VRF or variable refrigerant flow systems, window units, and portable units. But they also make dehumidifiers, air purifiers, and humidifiers too. A year ago, I reviewed an 8,000 BTU portable unit from TOSOT, and even though I still like window units, I must admit that these portable units are definitely convenient and handy to have around. We've been using it ever since then to cover some gaps in coverage of our poorly designed builder's grade central air system. So I got back in touch with TOSOT to get my hands on a bigger one. Enter this beast. This is the Aolis, which is TOSOT's largest portable air conditioner. The Aolis is rated at 12,000 BTUs, or basic thermal units, according to the Ashrae standard, and 8,000 BTUs according to the U.S. Department of Energy standard. That's important to understand because if you're going to shop around for one of these, you'll hear a lot of numbers thrown around, and it'll be impossible to compare units against each other if you lose track of which standard they're using to rate the device. The Aolis works for rooms up to 450 square feet, and TOSOT claims very low noise output, a 5-minute installation procedure, and the ability to remove up to 10 gallons of water from the air per day. And finally, on the not-so-good side of things, the Aolis is rated at a whopping 1,400 watts or 13.5 amps of 115-volt AC power and a weight of 76 pounds. Now, if you're new to portable air conditioners, you may not realize that they still require being installed in a window, just not with part of it hanging out. An exhaust hose must be installed that vents hot air to the exterior of your home or the device will not work. The good news is that it does not look quite as ugly from the outside, and the window only has to be open about 6 inches. So you're much less likely to get harassed by neighbors or your HOA about something ugly sticking out your window. The Aolis does come with everything you need to install the air conditioner in almost any kind of window you might have, and also comes with plenty of foam sealant to make a good permanent installation if you want an airtight seal. It also has a drain hose for the water that will be collected and a remote control. And finally, it comes with a full 1-year warranty and email and phone support, although with some strange business hours. Please note that you can add an additional 6 months to the warranty by following the procedure in the manual, but it is completely free of charge. So here you can see me finishing up the unboxing process. Nothing too interesting here. After that, you can slide the top of the box up and over the air conditioner so that you don't have to try to lift the air conditioner out of the box. That would be a nightmare with how heavy this thing is. Before proceeding with the installation, it's always a good idea to check and make sure you got everything it was supposed to come with. So let's test this 5-minute installation concept here. The exhaust hose has spiral ridges in it for strength, and those ridges will screw into the exhaust outlet of the air conditioner. Just pull the hose out like an accordion and start spinning. The other end of the hose then spins onto an adapter that will connect to the window. Open up the window a little bit and leave the window screen in place. Then use the sliding plates to extend from side to side in the window opening and position the rectangular hole where you will want to connect the hose. And then just snap in the hose adapter to the plate and lower the window on top of the plate. Now obviously most people will want to use the foam and take their time and make sure there's a good seal. But TOSOT is right, and this is a very fast procedure, especially if you've done it once before. I'm not going to go over the operation of this unit in this video because I think any 4-year-old could figure it out. So let's dive right into the testing and performance to see what this thing can do. If you follow my channel, you recognize this room as my office and my warehouse. This room is not well insulated, but is reasonably airtight. I do have a wall-mounted window unit that's much smaller than the TOSOT that I'll be using for comparison. This window unit is only rated for 6,000 BTU, so I'm not going to compare them as equals. I'm simply trying to help highlight differences and help you get a bearing of a portable AC's performance against a more well-known device like a window unit. The way we're going to test these units is simple. I'll run each air conditioner for 30 minutes and record the before, after, and in between temperatures of the room. I have a USB data logger that will measure temperature over time, and I'll also use an infrared thermometer to give us another data point. Then I'll open up all the windows and let the summer morning air heat the room back up to ambient, and we'll repeat the process with the other air conditioner. The room is much smaller than what the TOSOT is rated for at around 130 square feet. Ceiling height is standard 8 feet, and the doors will stay shut throughout the testing. First, we'll test the control, which is the 6000 BTU window unit. The starting air temperature, as measured by the data logger, is about 30 degrees Celsius, which is around 86 degrees Fahrenheit, which we can verify with the infrared thermometer. I set the temperature as low as each unit will go, which is 60 degrees Fahrenheit on the window unit and 61 degrees on the TOSOT. I also set the fan speed to as high as it will go on each one. Then I set a timer for 30 minutes and let it do its thing. After 30 minutes, I checked and recorded the temperatures for the window unit. The data logger reported a final temperature of 24.7 degrees Celsius, which is around 76.5 degrees Fahrenheit. The infrared thermometer backed that measurement up. Here's what the data logger showed for the performance of the window unit. As you can see, 30 minutes was plenty of time to reach a plateau, and 24.7 degrees Celsius was the lowest point. So let's record that data on our chart and then let the room heat back up for about 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, I collected another baseline temperature with the data logger and infrared. This time the room started out at 27.3 degrees Celsius, which is around 81 degrees Fahrenheit. The infrared measured a little higher at 84, but still within the expected margin of error. So I shut all the doors and set up the TOSOT in the window, then I turned it on max. Then I set another 30 minutes on the timer and let it run. After 30 minutes, I checked the final temperatures. The data logger showed 25.4 Celsius and the infrared showed 79.7 Fahrenheit, which is again a few degrees higher but still close enough. But these numbers were confusing me. If the TOSOT started with a lower temp to begin with and didn't get as cool as the window unit, what else was going on here? The graph for the TOSOT did not show that the temperature had plateaued yet, so it may have benefited from a longer runtime. But you would expect that a more powerful air conditioner would not need a longer runtime to get to the same temperature than a less powerful unit. So is the TOSOT defective or inferior? Not at all. Let me explain. The answer came when I dug further with the infrared thermometer, and the confusion is my fault for using two very different appliances and comparing the results. I found that the air coming out of the TOSOT was not as cold as the air coming out of the window unit, but there was a lot more of it. I don't have any device to quantify the volume of air, but the TOSOT is moving at least twice the air as the Frigidaire. So let's say you're sitting in a bathtub of hot water. You want to cool down the water in the tub, so you grab a glass of ice water and dump it in. Is that going to change the overall temperature of the tub very much? No, because the volume of ice water is small. The overall net effect is not going to be very much. Now let's say instead of a drinking glass of ice water, you grabbed a bucket of water that was sitting outside at 50 degrees Fahrenheit. If you dump that in, would there be a significant change in the temperature of the bath water? Yes, because the volume is greater even though the temperature of the water in the bucket is 15 degrees or so higher. The same thing is happening here. The TOSOT is designed for rooms over 3 times the size of this room. In order to cool down that volume of air in a big room, you have to have a high volume of air moving through the air conditioner. So the air coming off the coils won't be quite as cold, but there is a lot more of it. So if we had tested these units in a much larger room, we would have gotten opposite results, where the window unit would have barely made an impact, while the TOSOT would have worked very well. This is a great example why you shouldn't assume that bigger is always better. But with more airflow comes more noise. I don't know if you can pick it up on camera, but the TOSOT is noticeably louder than the Frigidaire. So how much louder? Using a sound meter app on my phone that is approximately 8 feet from each of the air conditioners, I measured 64 dB for the window unit and 68 for the TOSOT. That's a lot higher than TOSOT's rating of 50 decibels for this unit. Part of that, no doubt, comes from my office suffering from an echo, and part of it's due to the fan being set on its highest setting. But either way, you would have to have the TOSOT on a very low setting or on sleep mode in order to achieve 50 dB. The final test that I conducted was power consumption. Does the TOSOT really need that full 1400 watts that it's rated for? At first it doesn't. It only draws around 800 watts to start with, but then it starts climbing. And it kept climbing for several minutes until it leveled off around 1200 watts. Thankfully, that's better than 1400. But 1200 is a lot more than any window unit consumes. Obviously, we can get in trouble comparing apples to oranges here like we did before, but the Frigidaire, in comparison, only consumes about 550 watts. So, in conclusion, I like the TOSOT Aolis a lot when it's used for its intended purpose in a large open room. It's portable with easy-to-roll casters on the bottom and can be set up in a new location in 5 minutes. It moves a lot of air and can take a lot of humidity out of the air. All in all, for $400 US, this thing is a beast and a great deal. And since you watched to the end of this video, I'll point you guys to a 20% off coupon code AC20 that you can use on the TOSOT Direct web store right now for a limited time. If that's expired by the time you see this, you can use the 10% off coupon code in the video description for LDS Reliance viewers until the end of 2021. And that is a heck of a better price than on Amazon. Thanks for watching this video. I'm begging you guys, please help support my channel by giving it a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button.